Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Um, Please let us know in the comments if you're able to hear us well, if the background works, etc., etc. If you like the class, if you'd like to sponsor a class, please let us know in the comments below. Obviously, we all know what's going on in the land of Israel. So I specifically chose a class about the land of Israel, and this should be the study of the Torah study that we do tonight should be is in the merit of all our brothers and sisters in the Holy Land who are, whether on the front lines, not on the front lines, wherever they may be, for all the Jewish people, wherever they may be, that we should only hear good news and good tidings from the front lines. Okay, let's get started. So this week we're starting again. We took a break for the Tishrei season, for the high holidays and Sukkot, and we're back on track. We're now starting with Parsha's Bereshis, the first Parsha of the year. So we're going to start with the first Parsha. We're going to start with the first verse and the first Rashi, the first comment that Rashi makes on the Torah. The Torah tells us, Bereshis bara Elokim, God creates in the beginning, Es HaShemayim, Ves HaAretz, He creates both the heavens and the earth. Just gonna 1 second. I'll respond to messages. Yes, we are online. We are live. Okay. So God said. God created the heaven and the earth in the beginning. So the $1 million question is that Rashi asks is, why does the Torah have to start from this verse, from Bereshis? If the Torah is all about, the Torah means laws. The Torah means that lessons, laws, teaching us. Why do we have to start with a whole book and plus of history before we get to the first mitzvah in the Torah? The first mitzvah in Torah is in the book of Exodus. The book of Exodus tells us that God commands, "Hachodesh hazeh lachem," that this month should be for you, and you shall start to count the months by the moon. This all goes on in the book of Exodus. So what are we doing here in the book of Genesis? What are we doing with Bereshis? Why Bereshis? So I'll read you the Rashi as follows. Rashi says, the first comment that Rashi makes in the Torah, he says as follows. I'll read it inside. Rabbi Yitzchak commented, "It would seem that the Torah should only have begun from this month shall be for you, for it is the first commandment given to Israel. Why did God begin the Torah in the beginning? With Bereshis. Because of the message implied by the verse. The strength of his works he related to his people, to give them the inheritance of the nations." He quotes a verse in Tehillim that says that the strength of his works he related to his people to give them the inheritance. If the nations, and then Rashi continues, if the nations of the world will tell you, you are robbers, for you conquered the lands of 7 nations, meaning the land of Israel, we will respond to their accusation, the entire earth belongs to the Holy One, blessed be He. He created it and gave it to whomever He deemed proper. When He so desired, He gave it to those nations, and when He so desired, He took it away from them and gave it to us. That is the first Rashi on the Torah, that the land of Israel belongs to the Jewish people because God created the world. And because God created the world, there is no opportunity for any nation to say that we are robbers, that we stole the land. So we're going to break this down a little bit of what does this really mean, this idea that the nations of the world are going to say that we're robbers, and then we have to explain to them, no, God created the world. So to understand this, we're going to go back a little bit, go forward in time from where we are at the Genesis, the creation of the world. We're going to go to the story of the spies. The spies were sent by Moses when the Jewish people are about to go into the land of Israel. At least they thought they were, and they head to the land of Israel, and they're supposed to tell Moses how to conquer the land. But Instead, they say, no, it's not possible. Say it's not possible? What do you mean it's not possible? And we discussed this in our class about from the Parsha's Shalach. What do you mean it's not possible? God said it's possible. So how could the spies say it's not possible? So without getting too much into that story, is that the spies' issue on a spiritual level was that they felt that Israel cannot be conquered. Specifically, it cannot be conquered. What does conquering mean? Conquering means that you have something and you transform it into something else. At the land of Israel is right now the land of Canaan, and it's going to be transformed into the Holy Land of Eretz Israel, the Holy Land of Israel. So how is it possible to make a land that is holy? In fact, it says that why is the land of Israel? Why is it called the land of Israel? The Torah tells us, I should say, our sages tell us that actually it's called Eretz because Eretz comes from the word Ratzon, right? We say, for example, Yehi Ratzon, it should be God's will. Eretz comes from the word Ratzon, that it wants to do the will of God. That is why it's called land, and it's called Yisrael because the Yisrael, Israel, is a acronym for Yesh Shishim Riboy Oisis LaTorah. There are 600,000 letters in the Torah. In other words, Eretz Yisrael means the land that wants to do the will of God as written in the Torah. That is what it means. And the spies could not comprehend how it was possible for a land to be transformed into something holy. Not just, okay, it's a place where we're going to be and we're going to do what God says. That the land itself should be holy. The spies cannot comprehend such a thing. They said, okay, listen. It's not that we think that God is not capable. It's not what we think. They were very smart people. They were very intelligent people. They said it's not that God isn't capable. It's that God created it in such a fashion that it's not possible to conquer. In other words, they said God created the world. He created a world. He didn't create a spiritual place. He didn't create a spiritual realm. He created a physical world with physical rules, with rules of nature, with rules of this is the way things are. These are God's rules. They're not our rules. The rules of nature are not made up by scientists. They're not made up by professors. They're not made up by philosophers. They are the rules that God made. In other words, the famous question, can God make a rock that he can't pick up? Right? So according to this understanding, according to this understanding, no, because God said that he made a rock that's supposed to be stationary that he can't pick up. It's not possible, right? So they were saying that the only place for them to do Torah is to observe Torah properly is in the desert. In the desert, there's nothing going on. They are divorced from reality. And if you're divorced from reality, it's possible to serve God. You could be on a spiritual level, and you could do spiritual things if you're in a place that's divorced from reality. That was their idea. So what ends up happening is that the spies failed in their mission because they said that this it was not possible to transform the land of Canaan into the Holy Land, but they were obviously wrong. Why were they wrong? Because the reason that God created the world was in order that why did he create the world? Because he wanted a place that he could call home. And the whole purpose of the entire world, as the Torah tells us, is that we should serve God. So in other words, even though the nature of the world is in a certain way, even though the nature of the world seems to be in a certain fashion, that it's not, that they have rules, and the rules do not align with Torah values, or they seem impossible to transform in a way to align with Torah values. But the truth is that is the inner purpose of the world is, and especially the land of Israel, is that it wants to do what God wants. It's Eretz. It wants to do its will of its creator and of Yisrael, of the Torah. And that is the truth, and that is how the spies failed. So now if we go back to Rashi makes a lot of sense. This Rashi says that the people of the world are going to say, listen, you are you are robbers. Yeah, you are saying that it's there. You are saying that you're going to take a land. You're going to take a land that is physical land. You want to make it holy. You think you could do that? It's not possible. You have to follow the rules of the world. If you follow the rules of the world, then you're robbers. That's the nature of the world, right? And this is God's nature. God told us that if one person has a land, it belongs to them, and you came and you stole it from us. But that's not what the purpose of the world is. The purpose of the world is that the world should do what God wants. And therefore, when it comes to the land of Israel, it's not the fact that we're not robbers because we started off not from the mitzvahs. The Torah is not just a book of laws. It's not just trying to tell us do X, do Y, do Z. The Torah is telling us the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is, in the beginning, God created the world, and as Rashi says, He took the land and He gave it to 7 nations, and then He took it away from them because this is the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is to transform the world, to make the world a dwelling place for God. And therefore, the Torah does not start from the book of Exodus, where it starts to tell us the laws. The Torah starts with stories. It starts with the story of creation. And it continues the story of our forefathers. And it continues with the story of the Jewish people being enslaved and eventually redeemed, because the Torah is telling us the purpose of the world, the purpose of why we were created. Therefore, the Rashi says that he quotes the verse in Tehillim, the strength that what was the verse? I'm sorry, the koyach ma'asav higid la'amai, that the strength of His creation He gives to His nation. That the strength, the purpose, the strength of the creation, the strength of everything is in order to for us to do mitzvahs and Torah into this world. And obviously, we're all talking right now about the land of Israel, and we're talking about this is something that's all on our minds, and obviously that's what we're talking about. At the same time, we know that the land of Israel is not just a place, a physical place. It's like we're talking about. It's a spiritual idea. And there was once a chassid, a follower of the Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Chabad Rebbe, and he came to his Rebbe and he said, "I want to go to Eretz Yisrael, but I can't, or it wasn't practical for him to go." And the Tzemach Tzedek told him, "Machta Eretz Yisrael," which translates as "make this place Eretz Yisrael." That it's not enough that the land of Israel is the land of Israel, and when God willing, with Mashiach and the end of all suffering, we will all go to the land of Israel. But until now, God put us here in this place for a reason. The same way that God has put us in the land of Israel for a reason, for thousands of years, and continues to give us the opportunity to live in the land of Israel for those who can. At the same time, He put us wherever we may find ourselves. He put us in this place for a reason. The reason is to do what God wants and to transform our realm, whether it's our physical realm, whether it's our bodies, whether it's our mindset, whatever it may be, whatever things that you encounter in your psyche, in your day-to-day life, it is to transform them. That is what the land of Israel teaches us. The land of Israel teaches us we took a physical land and we call it the Holy Land. It's not the Holy Land because some other nation decided that it's holy. It's not holy because it was created holy. No, it was created in the same way of the regular world. Obviously, it was always special, right? God created it with its inner purpose, like we said. But we revealed it through moving to the land of Israel. We revealed that this is the place that wants to do what God wants. And the spies couldn't comprehend that. For whatever reason, they felt you have to be separated from reality. But God said, no, I want you to go into reality. You go into reality, and you take this reality, and you can transform it. This is why we start with the book of Bereshit. And it is so apropos that what we're going through now as a nation, and we have this Rashi. This Rashi gives us the strength, just like Rashi says that God gives us strength, the strength to overcome whatever obstacles may come in our way as a nation, as a people, that we have the ability to overcome that, to transform it into good. It may not seem possible. It's possible to comprehend. We're not. I think most of us are not comprehending what we're going through. We're just kind of zoned out, trying our best to move on and keep going and get through a day and the next day. But we have to realize that God gives us the strength. He gives us the strength to transform, to uplift, to help others, to transform our mindset, that and He gave us this opportunity. He gave us the land of Israel. He gave us the ability to make it the land of Israel. He gave us the opportunity to make it the Holy Land. He gave us the opportunity to make every single thing that we encounter into something holy. I want to wish every single one of you a wonderful Shabbos, and God willing, we should see the coming of Mashiach. We will know no more sorrow, no more bad things, and we should only know good things from here on out. Hopefully, we'll see you. Hopefully, you guys will join next week for our class. We'll continue with the Parshas Noach. It's wonderful that we're able to start again on the cycle for the Torah. We did a whole cycle last year. God willing, we'll continue to study Torah in the merit of all our brothers and sisters, wherever they may be. Have a good Shabbos, and we'll see you next week.